dual nationality rules. She became the first team ever to field an entire 11 who were born abroad in the history of this tournament, when Unahi went off in the game against Brazil, the opening game in their group. That real push for the dual nationality recruits began a decade or so ago at the behest of the Royal Morocco Football Federation. It's starting to bear fruit now as we get back underway, and El Ainaoui just volleys the ball back to Bunu. And here's Chadi Riyad now, 10 yards or so outside his own penalty area. Combines with Mazraoui. Here's Bouadi. Just always seems to be available, doesn't he? The 18-year-old. Always finding himself in little pockets of space, offering angles to receive the pass off the defenders. As Morocco now across the halfway line, and ball comes here to El Khanous. He moves it on to Unahi. Mazraoui, good pass inside from him, although Unahi then losing out to Frenkie de Jong. Dumfries with a little ball down the line on the right-hand side that Brobby can't reach. It's hacked forward, dealt with in the air by Van Hecker, who's, well, he's had a coming together there with Unahi. And Van Hecker is rolling around, clutching his face here. Players charging in on both sides. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the referee does here. It's Azzedine Unahi who's involved there for Morocco. And Van Hecker certainly making out as though he's taken a whack in the face. He won the ball in the air initially. There was a coming together between the two of them. Van Hecker went down. I mean, the initial challenge, Unahi knows he's not going to win the ball and just turns his back as he kind of jumps in to half-heartedly challenge aerially. Maybe his back has just caught Van Hecker in the face, but I'm entirely sure it merited the diving and the rolling around from the new Tottenham Hotspur man. Nevertheless, the referee has dealt with that pretty well again and just awarding the Netherlands a free kick, and game gets back underway as Van Hecker is quickly back on the ball once again. He slides a decent little pass down the right-hand side to de Jong. Here's Somerville now, trying to just feed Gakpo ahead of him, but that pass was a little bit too heavy. Morocco have it back. A rare loose pass from Bouadi is temporarily pounced upon by the Netherlands, but Morocco clear their lines once again, and then Unahi. The decent little pass to El Khanous. Somerville snapping at his heels, but El Khanous does well. And then Unahi slides in El Khanous. Cross comes in from the left-hand side. Oh, and it's gone across the face of the 6-yard box there, and it's beaten everyone. But that was a nice piece of build-up play by Morocco, involving Unahi and El Khanous. And the left-footed cross from that left-hand side from El Khanous was a decent one. It flashed in between the last line of the Dutch defence and Bart Verbruggen in goal. But no one there, unfortunately, for Morocco. Either on the edge of the 6-yard box centrally or at the back post, just to nod it or volley it away. So the Netherlands now clear their lines from the goal kick, and it's Gakpo doing a good piece of hold-up play there to feed Brobby. Brobby gets it back to Van der Ven, and then de Jong is fouled by Saibari. Again, the referee deciding to keep his cards in his pocket. As Van Dijk now inside the centre circle. Plays it to his left to de Jong. Here's Gakpo now, wide on the left-hand side, just hugging the touchline. Quickly surrounded by 2 or 3 Morocco players, though, and just has to settle for a throw-in off Hakimi. Here's Van Hecker now. Makes a pass out to the right-hand side to Dumfries. He plays it back inside to Somerville. And now here's Virgil van Dijk again. Almost exactly on the halfway line, central position, as Van Hecker fizzes one out to the right to Dumfries, who quickly has to play it back to Gravenberch. Van Hecker moving it on to Van Dijk. And then Van Dijk going longer this time from Centre of the park over to the left, looking for the run of Gakpo, but just overhit by Virgil van Dijk. It's been a bit of a struggle for Gakpo trying to get into the game. He's obviously got to deal with Hakimi running the other way constantly. He's got Van de Ven over there for support, of course, but hasn't had much joy over there on that side yet, Cody Gakpo. There's Dumfries now. Volleys a clearance long down the right-hand side. It's a bit of a tricky one for Mazraoui, who does well to half-volley it away under pressure to El Khanous. El Khanous with a sharp pass inside to Bouadi. Bit of space for him now to open up, which he does, and he looks to go long over the top. Glorious pass from Bouadi that finds Saibari wide on the left. Saibari driving towards the penalty area now. Cuts inside onto the right foot. Oh, heavy touch though. That allows Somerville to come away, and then Saibari, probably in frustration as much as anything, just bundles Somerville to the floor. I do wonder if this might be the first yellow card of the game from this referee. He'll be lucky if he gets away with it, Saibari, because Somerville was streaking clear on the counter. It was just a really poor touch, uncharacteristically so by Saibari, that just presented the ball to Somerville, who was then searing away on the counter-attack. And Saibari just really clumsily hauling Somerville to the floor. Haven't seen any confirmation of a booking, though, for Ismail Saibari, so perhaps he has got away with it. And look, I'm not somebody who's going to complain about a referee who wants to keep his cards in his pocket, as long as he does so for the whole match. As a long Morocco clearance down the left-hand side finds no one in a white shirt, and instead it's Verbruggen who comes out to play a short pass to Van Dijk. So we're past the half-hour mark here, and it's still goalless between the Netherlands and Morocco. It's Morocco who have probably come closest to scoring. A couple of good chances in the space of a minute or so prior to the first hydration break. A header from El Ainaoui, that was well saved by Verbruggen. And then a drilled shot from the edge of the box by Hakimi that was also tipped over by the Brighton goalkeeper. As for the Netherlands, well, they've huffed and puffed. They've had a decent half chance for Somerville, who was played in behind but chose to pass rather than shoot. And it is Ronald Koeman's men who are just patiently looking to build themselves an opening here. Midway inside the Morocco half, as De Jong moves it on to Van Hekke. Here's Dumfries now, wide on the right-hand side. Slides it back to Van Hekke. Van Hekke, short of options, tries to chip one up to Dumfries, which he does well, but good defending back there by Mazraoui. And the offside flag has gone up there as well, I think against Denzel Dumfries. And Ronald Koeman just turns away in frustration. Hasn't quite happened for his charges just yet. It's perhaps a little bit surprising that we haven't had more goalmouth action, especially considering the Netherlands chalked up 10 goals in their 3 group games. Actually matched their best ever haul in this tournament. And also was the best total in the current tournament as well. An accolade they share with France and Germany. The latter of whom, of course, are no longer with us after that shock shootout defeat to Paraguay an hour or two ago. As Verbruggen just captures another wayward long ball from Morocco and bowls the ball out to Nathan Ake. Here's Frenkie de Jong now. Ake once more. Finding Gakpo, who's had to come short to get involved. Perhaps a sign of his frustration. As Van Dijk goes longer now to Dumfries. Chested down well. Good pass inside to Somerville. Somerville jinking, trying to find a way through, but surrounded by white shirts again. It's really good defending by Morocco. They've lost the ball here, have they? No, Mazraoui sliding in, but then Van Dijk stepping in, and it's back here with Dumfries into the box. Low cross to the edge of the penalty area. Excellent piece of play by Hakimi, just anticipating the danger, but then uncharacteristically poor touch from him. And just sees the ball bobble out of play. So it will be a Netherlands throw-in. From the right-hand side, midway inside the Morocco half, the referee just stop the game here. He's going to bring it back. I presume there's a VAR check going on for something. As we enter the final 10 minutes of normal time in this first half. There's a VAR check. It's, I think, for a potential handball there as Dumfries just burst into the penalty area on the right-hand side and tried that little cut back to the edge of the box. The suggestion was that it maybe clipped the hand of Bouadi, but nothing doing there. The VAR makes his decision, and the game resumes, and it's Holland on the ball once again, and they've worked it out to the left-hand side. Ake playing it inside now to De Jong, who's just on the edge of the centre circle inside the Morocco half. Now here's Van Dijk, right on the halfway line, not being pressed, and has a chance to pick a pass. Van Hecke steers one into the box, headed partially away by Morocco, tidied up by Bouadi, but a heavy touch from him this time. Here's De Jong, finds a good pass to Dumfries. Good challenge in there by Mazraoui. The ball does eventually squirt behind, and the Netherlands have got themselves a corner. It's from the right-hand side this time. Let's see if they can be a little bit more dangerous from set pieces than they have been from open play so far. There's only really been flickers from the men in orange to this point. But perhaps that could all be about to change as Crescencio Somerville prepares to take the corner. Pushing and shoving going on in the penalty area. In it goes from Somerville towards the back post. Oh, and I don't want to say a free header because there was a little bit of pressure there, but Dumfries found himself with a chance to plant his forehead on the ball and just sailed over the crossbar, but I think it's taken a little touch off a Morocco player on the way through. Yep, it's going to be another corner here to the Netherlands. And again, from the right-hand side, it's Crescencio Somerville who is going to take it. He puts one arm up in the air, swings it in. There's a chance there for Van Dijk, is there? No, really vital header one in there, I think, by El Anaoui, just to get it away from Van Dijk, who was looking ready to pounce. And then De Jong almost turning into trouble under pressure from a couple of Morocco players. In the end, the ball is worked back to Verbruggen. Oh, my goodness me, there's a really nasty head injury here for Van Hecke, who's bleeding pretty profusely out of the top of his head. Must admit, I didn't see what happened. It must have been a clash of heads, I can only assume, from the corner, but it looks a really nasty blow for Jan-Paul Van Hecke. He looks to be reeling somewhat, as you might expect from that impact. Just being patched up now by the Netherlands medical staff. He got bundled to the floor there. Oh my goodness, I think he's been caught completely inadvertently, I have to say, by the studs on the left boot of Noussair Mazraoui. He tumbled as he was trying to make a run in the penalty area at that previous corner, did Van Hecke. And Mazraoui, who only had eyes for the ball as it was coming in, just inadvertently collided with Van Hecke as he was falling to the ground. And I think, as I say, the left boot of Mazraoui is just grazed across the forehead of Van Hecke, so it's a really nasty one for the Tottenham centre-half, who, of course, actually scored a header from a corner in the 3-1 win against Tunisia last Friday. It's his first goal for his country as well. He's winning his 16th cap this evening. He's definitely benefited from the injury to Jurrien Timber, the Arsenal man, because he only featured, or only started, I should say, in 2 of the 8 qualifying games that the Netherlands played for this tournament, since Timber was ruled out of the tournament. This groin problem that dogged him towards the back end of the season for Arsenal. Van Hecke has undoubtedly been the main beneficiary. We're just waiting now for the game to resume. Van Hecker has been partially patched up. I imagine he's going to end up with a bandage around his head. He's got that big shock of blonde hair, Van Hecker, and the fringe at the front has mostly turned red. It's a little bit of a grim scene for him. And he's just jogging off the pitch now, where I imagine they'll give him this bandage, and that will allow the game to resume as the referee prepares to drop the ball to Verbruggen, which he does. Verbruggen immediately going long towards Brobby. Brobby wins the header, chested down now by Gakpo. Gakpo just trying to lay it off to a teammate, but it's won back by Diaz. Stepping in there was Van Dijk, making a good challenge to get there ahead of Saibari. Van Dijk's left-footed interception goes out over on the right-hand side, the Morocco right, that is, for a throw-in, which Hakimi takes quickly. Battling away over there was Gakpo, trying to take the ball off Bouadi, but Cody Gakpo concedes the foul in the process. And Morocco get the game back underway again. They're midway inside their own half, the Atlas Lions. It's with El Anaoui. He moves it on to Unahi. And wide on the left here is El Kanous. Looking for a give and go with Unahi, but Unahi instead finds Saibari, who lays it back to him with his back to goal. Here's Mazraoui now, just inside the Netherlands half. Little clipped pass from El Kanous, trying to find Mazraoui wide on the left. He'd made a little burst forward, had the Manchester United man, but that didn't come off. But then, once again, Netherlands just spurning possession. I'm pleased to report that Jan-Paul Van Hecker is back with us now, minus any kind of dressing to that wound on his head as well. Perhaps that could be something that the Dutch medical team administer at half-time. We'll have to wait and see, but in the meantime, Morocco have the ball here with Unahi, just inside their own half. Brahim Diaz plays a little pass to Riyad, and then it's moved on by El Anaoui to the right-hand side. And Morocco just struggling to move the ball through the lines at the moment. On this occasion, they've managed to run it out of play, as a pass to Hakimi isn't kept in by the PSG man. And the Netherlands have it back now with Virgil van Dijk. 2.5 minutes to go until half-time in this round of 32 clash. If you are just tuning in, it remains goalless between the Netherlands and Morocco. But here come the Netherlands now. Somerville looking to get in behind. Good piece of defending by Riyad, hooking the ball clear. De Jong wins the header. Here's Dumfries. Oh, and Dumfries just got in behind for a moment there. He was right on the edge of the 6-yard box, but more good defending by Morocco, although they've given the ball back to Gravenberch here. Somerville looking to skip away from Bouadi. Here's a chance here for Van de Ven. Oh, good save by Bunu, because Mickey Van de Ven let fly there from 25 yards, and he caught it really well with the left foot. Lashed it towards goal. It was bending and arcing away from Bunu, who just stuck up a right hand. Probably a little bit more comfortable than it initially looked for the goalkeeper, in fairness, but a good strike from Van de Ven and a good save from Yassine Bunu. It's going to be a corner, though, for the Netherlands, as still we await the deadlock to be broken in this game. Cody Gakpo has come across to take it from the left-hand side. The referee's getting right in amongst the Stramash in the 6-yard box. Several orange shirts crowding round Bunu again. Brobby inevitably involved. Referee, well, is he going to let the corner come in here? It's Riyad who's been bundled to the floor this time. Back on his feet now. Van Dijk is stood right on the goalkeeper. In it comes now from Gakpo. Ooh, and it's almost gone onto the head of Brobby there. Bunu was trying to punch the ball away, but I think the referee has just said to the Holland players there, he's had enough of the pushing and shoving. I don't think there was much of a impediment to the goalkeeper there. It's Brobby who's been penalised, but he's just jumped for the ball honestly there. Van Dijk can see there saying no way to the referee. And I must be honest, I share the Netherlands' frustrations there, because Bunu wasn't really being impacted from playing the ball in any way, shape or form. His long clearance is headed back towards the edge of the Morocco penalty area, where Diop wins a header of his own. Somerville claims the ball back for the Netherlands. We're going to have 6 minutes added on at the end of this first half, as Van Hecker plays a square pass from right to left to Ake, who immediately crosses the halfway line. Manages to find Gakpo. Ake, under pressure from Saibari, goes back to De Jong. De Jong trying to clip a little pass down the left-hand side that would have set Gakpo away, but that's cut out well by Bouhaddi. Bouhaddi trying to set Saibari free down the right-hand side, but that's well dealt with by Van de Ven. And then a poor first touch by Cody Gakpo. And the ball just goes out of play for a throw into Morocco. Here's Chadi Riyad now. Bit of space for him to stride forward from just outside his own penalty area. Eventually checks and plays a sideways pass to Mazraoui. Here's Bouhaddi now, on the edge of the centre circle, inside his own half. Morocco looking to get on the front foot in the final couple of minutes of this first half. Mazraoui now plays it to his right to Riyad. Here's Issa Diop. And now Riyad once again. Holland just sitting off the Moroccan defenders for now. Here's Bouhaddi, who's into the Netherlands half inside the centre circle. He combines with Diaz. Diaz to Bouhaddi. Back to Diaz again. Now here's El Ainaoui, right on the halfway line. Plays it to his right, where Bouhaddi again has found some space. Driving infield now is Hakimi. Good challenge coming in there from Cody Gakpo, and then a nice little spin, although he's given it away. And a slide pass through. Oh, and that was a decent opening that Morocco have squandered there. Saibari with a bit of a rueful look on his face, because they won the ball back as Gakpo, having done well initially, tried to do a bit of a roulette, a pirouette away from his man that didn't come off. He was tackled. The ball was slid through to Saibari, who was, well, he would have been through one-on-one with Verbruggen if he could have brought it under his spell, but he couldn't. And the ball just rolled out of play for a Netherlands goal kick, which they took long down the left-hand side. This time the Netherlands. They've got it here now with Frenkie de Jong, just inside the Morocco half. The referee having to step over the ball, but Morocco got it back, and suddenly it's 3v3. Oh, good challenge from Van Hecker sliding in. Danger not over yet, though, for Holland. The shot comes in from outside the penalty area. Oh, and it wasn't too far away there from Azzedine Ounahi. It was another good opportunity on the counter-attack for Morocco. El Ainaoui is taking a bit of a whack there from that really strong challenge from Jan-Paul Van Hecker. He wasn't taking any prisoners there, the centre half. Then the ball, as it span away from that challenge between Van Hecker and El Ainaoui, it just came through to Ounahi, who was on the right-hand side of the penalty area, right on the edge of the box, and he's drilled a shot towards the top left-hand corner. And I tell you what, it's only missed by half a yard or so. No chance at all that Verbruggen would have got there if it had been on target. And that might just be the closest we've come to scoring, perhaps aside from that header from El Ainaoui that Verbruggen pretty much saved on his line. But it's Morocco who are finishing the stronger of the two at the end of this first half. 2 minutes to go until the interval. Here they come again, the Atlas Lions. It's Diaz laying it back to Bouhaddi, midway inside the Netherlands half. Hakimi looking to combine with Ounahi. They're going to have a free kick here, I think, Morocco. Yep, the referee stops the game. It's Hakimi who's been bundled to the floor. And Hakimi is still down at the moment. I think it's Mickey van der Ven, potentially, who's been penalised there. Hakimi just received the ball out near the touchline, and yeah, he wanted the little give and go with Ounahi, did Hakimi. And he's gone down. And as he's set up, he's waved the imaginary yellow card at the referee as if to say, well, where's the booking for Van der Ven? The referee decides to give Hakimi a bit of a ticking off for that. But it is going to be the PSG man to take this free kick. It's only a yard or so in from the right touchline. Probably level with the edge of the Netherlands penalty area over on that right-hand side. And here comes Hakimi now. And it goes from him. Oh, my goodness me. Saibari should have scored. The ball has beaten everyone. I don't know how. Saibari was there at the far post. He's ended up in the back of the net himself rather than putting the ball in the back of the net. It was an absolutely wicked delivery from Hakimi. And it's somehow beaten everyone. Verbruggen was stranded on his line. It went over Gakpo's head. Oh, and Saibari, the ball just bounced over his left thigh as he lifted it up to just try and get something, anything on the ball to deflect it in. And he looks up to the heavens, does Ismail Saibari, because, well, he could easily have made it 4 goals in 4 games at this tournament there. Any sort of contact, and the ball would have been nestling in the back of the net, I'm sure. But all of a sudden, here come the Netherlands. There's a chance here for Dumfries. Little cutback. Oh, and the ball just bounces off Diop and into Ryan Gravenberch. And it spins up into the air and into the grateful arms of Yassine Bounou. And that brings to an end a first half that has simmered without ever quite igniting fully. Best chances undoubtedly have fallen to Morocco, who created a couple of really good ones in the space of 60 seconds or so midway through the opening period. First from El Anawi, who won a header at the near post, flashed it towards goal from a Hakimi corner. Brilliant save from Verbruggen, who again was on hand just a few seconds later to divert a rasping drive from Hakimi over the crossbar. The Netherlands, well, the closest they came to scoring was probably when Somerville was put through on goal, but somewhat bafflingly chose to try and pass it to Brobbey rather than take the shot on himself. And then the danger just dissipated pretty rapidly. And then right on the stroke of half-time, a couple of really close run things for the Netherlands as Morocco almost took the lead. First, a really impressive strike from the edge of the penalty area from Azzedine Ounahi that just fizzed past the top corner with Verbruggen stranded. And then right on the stroke of half-time, Hakimi fizzing in a glorious cross from a free kick over on the right. It went straight across the face of the 6-yard box, beating everybody. Saibari coming in at the far post. All he had to do was just get some sort of touch on the ball, and it would have been 1-0 to Morocco. But as it is, in Monterrey, at half-time in this round of 32 clash, it remains goalless between the Netherlands and Morocco. I'm going to take a quick break. Make sure you tune back in 10 or 15 minutes or so, and I'll be back to bring you all the coverage from the second half. It's bye-bye from me for now. Half-time in Mexico. It's Netherlands 0, Morocco 0. Hello there, Chris Bryant here to bring you live coverage of the second half of this round of 32 clash between the Netherlands and Morocco. If you were with us in the first half, welcome back. If you are just tuning in, quick reminder that this is an independent studio-based off-tube commentary of this clash between these two sides. It's a game that you can watch with your local TV broadcaster, of course. We're absolutely delighted that you're here with us. And it's a game that's really balanced on a bit of a knife edge at the moment. A game that hasn't produced a huge number of golden chances for either team. It's mostly been half chances and snapshots. Probably Morocco coming closest to scoring. A header from a corner from Neil El Arnaoui. That was really well saved by Bart Verbruggen in the Netherlands goal. Good strike from Achraf Hakimi, the Morocco skipper, that Verbruggen also tipped over. Right on the stroke of half-time, a Hakimi free kick from the right-hand side that Saibari could have easily bundled in at the far post, but he just missed the ball and ended up in the back of the net himself rather than putting the ball there. For the Netherlands, well, a really good chance for Crescencio Somerville when he was played through on goal by Ryan Gravenberch. He chose to pass instead of shoot. Mickey van der Ven also stung the palms of Yassine Bounou with a strike from 20 yards or so. We're back underway in the second half now, and it's the Netherlands who have a throw-in early on. Over on the right-hand side, couple of yards inside the Morocco half. Dumfries goes long up to Brobby, who does well to bring the ball down and lay it off to Somerville, but his first touch just lets him down. And Morocco will have their first throw-in of this second period. As Ronald Koeman just stands, hands on hips in his technical area. Interesting to see who blinks first here between the managers in terms of making changes, whether it's Ronald Koeman or Mohamed Ouabi. Certainly the change of system for the Netherlands hasn't been flawless, playing with this back three today against Morocco's 4-2-3-1. As Brobby now gathers the ball in midway inside the Morocco half and is bundled to the floor by Issa Diop. That's going to be the first yellow card of this contest, shown to the Fulham man. He was actually booked in the group stages as well in the first game, and that meant that he was rested against Haiti. And now he's going to be treading a bit of a tightrope for the rest of this game as Issa Diop. Bit of a latecomer to the international scene, just making his 7th appearance for Morocco tonight. Was born in France and played for them at various youth levels, all the way up to and including under 21. Could have played for Senegal as well, actually, through his father, but eventually made his debut for Morocco in March, friendly against Ecuador. As this free kick goes in, and it's flicked towards goal with a header there from Gakpo. That's easy for Bounou to claim. He quickly rolls the ball out to Riyad. Now here's Azzedine Ounahi, I should say, of Girona. There's Morocco. Work it out to the left now with Mazraoui. Play back inside to El Arnaoui. Bouadi back to goal, lays it back to El Arnaoui. And then Mazraoui finding a little pass up to Ounahi. Good return ball to him. Ounahi now bursting down the left-hand side, cuts inside. Diaz steps over it. Little layoff here, finds Bouadi. And the left foot shot from Ayoub Bouadi was a bit wayward. Just went sailing over the crossbar. Perhaps no great surprise. Played 42 games for Lille in all competitions last season and didn't find the back of the net. Actually just registered a solitary assist as well. He's certainly not in the team for his goal-scoring prowess, is he? The 18-year-old. He's much more about breaking the play up and then moving the ball forward to those with more natural attacking instincts. And he's on the ball again now. There's Bouadi, just a couple of yards inside the Netherlands half. Moves it right to Hakimi this time. Here's Diaz. Flicks it back with the outside of his left foot to Bouadi. Unahi gives it back to the Lille man. Now there's a bit of space for Riyad, who crosses the halfway line. Prods it to his left to Mazraoui. It's Riyad once more. Over on the left-hand side, just inside the Netherlands half. He's got it back again now, the Crystal Palace centre-half. This time he plays a square pass to his right to Bouadi, who's, as ever, available. Diop. Moving it on to Unahi, who looks to combine there with Hakimi. And now here's El Ainaoui. Playing a pass over to Unahi, who's still wide on the right-hand side, just hugging the touchline at the moment, the number 8 for Morocco. As Riyad, once again, crossing the halfway line, finding Bouadi. Here's El Ainaoui now. Good pass from him, taken well by Diaz. Moves it on to Hakimi, wide on the right-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area. Good pass inside, and now it's Unahi. Fakes to cross, does play it in eventually. It's Diaz, trying to find a bit of space for a shot, just crowded out by orange shirts though, Brahim Diaz. Holland do smuggle it away, but Diop gets a good pass out to the right-hand side to Hakimi. Here's Unahi now. It's with El Khanous. He plays a pass inside to Hakimi, who's just wandered into the centre of the pitch for the moment. Unahi threatens to cross, but instead goes back inside to Hakimi. He finds Riyad. Riyad looking for options. Plays a pass short to Mazraoui. Netherlands being forced back here under a good press from... Or Morocco, I should say, being forced back under a good press by the Netherlands. They have to go all the way back to Riyad. Here's Hakimi now. Still in a quite central position. Nice little back heel by El Khanous to find Brahim Diaz. He plays a little pass inside to Unahi. Unahi trying to slide a through ball to Hakimi. Brobbey wins the header, as does Gravenberch. But it's coming back to Morocco here, and it's Unahi with a bit of space in front of him now. Plays a good ball through here to Hakimi! Oh, he's hit the crossbar, the Morocco skipper. I don't know if Verbruggen got a touch, but that's the closest we've come to a goal. Achraf Hakimi just floating around all over the pitch. Popped up in the number 9 position there. He was slid through with a really nice through ball from Unahi. And suddenly Hakimi was in down that inside right channel. He's lashed it towards goal. I don't think Verbruggen has got a touch. And it's rattled off the crossbar and away. Oh, so close for Achraf Hakimi to his 13th goal for Morocco. On what is a really landmark occasion for the Morocco skipper this evening. He's actually making his 100th appearance for the national team tonight. And what a way that would have been to mark the milestone. Already got 1 goal to his name in this tournament, of course. Goal and an assist he provided in the 4-2 win against Haiti. He came oh so close there to making it number 2. On we go as Bouadi wins a header midway inside his own half. Mazraoui does likewise. Little volleyed pass inside from El Ainaoui. And now it's come to Gakpo here, who's surging forward all of a sudden, but then stepping in nicely was Hakimi, of course. Somerville wins it back, though. Somerville jinking away, brought down on the edge of the box. Well, the Netherlands are desperate for a free kick there. And then Van de Ven brings down Bouadi. And the referee does penalise Mickey Van de Ven. They're absolutely furious here, the Netherlands, because they think Somerville has been fouled there as he was jinking and twisting and turning. It was Hakimi who made the challenge from behind. If there was contact, there wasn't a huge amount. Hakimi definitely kicked the right foot of Somerville, but he was already on his way down at that point. Whether or not there was contact with the left foot prior to that is debatable. Very hard to tell, even in slow motion. Nevertheless, it was Morocco who ended up getting the call from the referee. And it is Morocco who are building another phase of attack here with Unahi once more. Central position, just inside the Netherlands half. Finds Hakimi wide on the right-hand side. Those two exchange passes once again. Here is Hakimi now. Unahi again. Forced back to Diop. Diop finds a good pass into midfield, and it's moved on to Brahim Diaz now. Coming forward down the right-hand side. He's got Unahi for support. Unahi, widest of all for Morocco at this point. Looking to combine with Hakimi, but the return pass from Unahi was well cut out. And now there's a break on for the Netherlands. Somerville, nice little touch. Oh, brilliant play from Somerville to get the ball over the challenge and then volley it wide to Gakpo. Wide on the left, he drives inside, does Gakpo. Tries to play a ball into the middle for Brobby, but that's poor from Cody Gakpo. He's trying to say to the referee he wants it to be brought back for the foul on Somerville, but the play had developed more than enough by that point for the advantage to be over. It's just a poor cross from Cody Gakpo at the end of it. Lovely piece of play prior to that from Somerville. First just to juggle the ball over a challenge in midfield and then get there ahead of a second Morocco player and stab it through. But at the other end, it's Hakimi. Oh, sensational tackle. Mickey van der Ven. Oh, my word. If you see a better challenge than this all tournament, I'll be amazed. Hakimi was suddenly in, a ball over the top. And as he went to pull the trigger, Van der Ven has come from nowhere round the side with a chopping tackle. It's sensational. And then suddenly now, at the other end, Brobby is through, is he? No. An offside flag goes up. But my word, Mickey van der Ven, if the Netherlands do get through this one, he'll need to take a lot of the praise, because I thought that Hakimi was just going to slide that ball past Verbruggen into the bottom left-hand corner. Just pops up there everywhere, doesn't he, Hakimi? 1 minute he's back in the right-back position, linking play. The next minute he's running through like a number 9 over the top. Extraordinary coverage of the pitch from the Morocco captain. But it was more than matched by that challenge from Mickey van der Ven. He's renowned for his pace, isn't he? In the Premier League, regular watchers will know that he's one of, if not the quickest defender in the Premier League, and well, he showed exactly why just then, getting back to come in with an unbelievable saving tackle on Hakimi. But here comes Brahim Diaz now, driving through the centre of the park. Van Hecke wins it back. It's been coughed up again by the Netherlands, who are just struggling to hold on to possession at the moment. And here come Morocco again down the left-hand side this time with Saibari. He plays it back to Mazraoui. Here's Brahim Diaz now. Worked over to the left-hand side to El Khanous. Diaz combining with Bouadi. He was under pressure quickly, but moved it on well to Diop. Now here's Hakimi again. Back in that more traditional wide right position. Little give and go with Unahi, and Hakimi gets it back. But once again, he's thwarted by Van der Ven, who just forces him back temporarily. Here's Bouadi now. Unahi, who's really growing in influence as this game wears on. He plays a lovely crossfield pass from right to left that's controlled beautifully by El Khanous. El Khanous onto the right foot, crosses it in, headed away well by Ake, just outside the 6-yard box. It's come here to De Jong. Rare loose touch from him though, gives it back to Morocco. And then the shot comes in low, and that's easily saved by Verbruggen. It was Bilal El Khanous who had a crack from range. Just in an inside left position, tried to curl one towards the far corner. It actually got a little deflection, I think, there, possibly from Dumfries. That took a bit of the sting out of the shot. It allowed Verbruggen just to dive low to his left and collect the ball in his hands. The Netherlands just a little bit of possession for the first time as Van Dijk finds Somerville. Here's Gakpo now, wide on the left-hand side. Comes infield onto his right foot. Better cross this time. Two Morocco defenders go for the same ball. Shot comes in left-footed from Gravenberch. That's well blocked. And Morocco looking to come away, but they've lost the ball this time as Gravenberch battling away against El Ainaoui. Gets it back wide on the right-hand side, does Gravenberch, but he just can't keep the ball in play. It's bounced out for a Morocco throw-in. Ronald Koeman deep in conversation with his assistant Ruud van Nistelrooy. I just wonder how much longer he'll wait, the former Southampton and Everton manager, before he makes a change. But in the meantime, it's going to be a free kick to Morocco. Van Hecke, who incidentally wasn't bandaged up at half-time, still sporting that blood-stained hairdo. He's penalised for a foul over on the right-hand side, just inside the Morocco half. It is the Atlas Lions who come forward now with Diaz. He decides to slow it down this time, though. Plays it back to Diop. Here's Diaz again, looking for a give and go with the ever-present Unahi. Diaz combining now with Hakimi. Hakimi just out-muscled there by De Jong, but his touch is a bit heavy and it goes back to Unahi. Here's Achraf Hakimi now. Unahi, wide on the right-hand side, midway inside the Netherlands half. El Ainaoui. Exchange of passes between him and Riyad. Now here's Hakimi. Morocco just slowing it down a bit here for a moment as we hit the hour mark in Monterrey. Still goalless between the Netherlands and Morocco. I do feel as though if there is to be a winner, at the moment it looks more likely to be Morocco, and that's a lovely piece of skill by Saibari. He's away down the left-hand side, gets to the byline, looks to cut a low cross back. Good defending at the near post there, I think by Van Dijk, or maybe it was Ake, but that was a nice little glimpse of what Saibari's all about and what Bayern Munich hope they'll be getting this summer. Just received the ball and took it on the half turn and dragged the ball away and then flicked it over the sliding challenge of Van Hecke. Got to the byline, tried to roll a low left-footed cross back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but there was Van Dijk. Outstanding positioning at the near post just to deflect the ball behind. But in comes the corner from Morocco now. It's flicked on. Oh, and Verbruggen had to be really sharp there. I think he's stopped that one on the line again, Bart Verbruggen. It was a curious corner, whipped low and hard. All of a sudden it was right on Bart Verbruggen. He's just managed to keep the ball out, but it's gone behind, and it's going to be another corner here to Morocco from this left-hand side. And again, it's going to be Hakimi to swing it in. Up he goes. It's a similar sort of corner. This time it's headed away, almost right in front of the near post by Denzel Dumfries. Certainly something that they've identified as a possible route to goal here, Morocco. These low, flat deliveries by Hakimi right towards the near post. Almost along the byline. He's done it again, Hakimi. And again, sliding in is Frankie de Jong this time, and it's gone behind yet again. So a fourth corner in quick succession for Morocco. Do they go for the same routine here? Well, Hakimi's got El Khanous for company if he wants to go short. No, it looks as though Hakimi's going to swing it in once again. Let's see if he goes for the same sort of delivery. No, this one's longer towards the back post, and somewhat inevitably he's overhit that rather grotesquely as Achraf Hakimi. And the ball has just bounced all the way through for a goal kick to the Netherlands. Yeah, just seeing a replay of that first in the quartet of corners from Hakimi. It's fizzed in towards the near post. It got a little flick off the right foot of Denzel Dumfries, and Verbruggen just got his body in the way on the line. It was definitely going in. So it's another really sharp save by Verbruggen. As the Netherlands now look to get a bit more of a foothold in this game. They've got themselves a throw-in midway inside their own half over on the left-hand side, won by Van de Ven. Van de Ven not in any great rush to take this, has to be said. They could do with just resetting really here. The Netherlands getting themselves up the pitch. Bit of an awkward back header from Hakimi, and Somerville. Oh, he's been dragged down there, has he, Somerville? Oh my word, I thought Mazraoui might be in all sorts of trouble there because it looked as though Somerville was beyond him and through on goal. He went to ground, the referee waving play on. And in the meantime, Gakpo tries to chase a pass down the left-hand side, but he's seen off by Bilal El Khanous, and the ball goes out of play for a goal kick. Well, Somerville just got away initially from Riyad. He headed the ball on. I'll tell you what, Mazraoui was really worried there. I'll be interested to know if the VAR is going to look at this, because if that was given, the only logical next step would have been to send off Noussair Mazraoui. It does look as though the Manchester United man has got away with it. That's the one outlet that could just bear fruit for the Netherlands based on what we've seen so far, isn't it? The pace of Somerville, they found him pretty tricky to contain at times. As far Verbruggen lofts a pass out to the right-hand side to Van Hekke. Nice little turn there by Gravenberch, and he's fouled by El Ainaoui. And the Netherlands are awarded a free kick. 65 minutes now on the clock, so we're heading inexorably towards the second and final hydration break. In the meantime, Van de Ven surging down the left-hand side. Great defensive covering, though, by Brahim Diaz to win the ball back for Morocco. Now here's Bouhaddi with plenty of time as the Netherlands just retreat. No interest at this stage from them to go after the ball in the Morocco half. And again, Bouhaddi has plenty of time to find a pass to Unahi. He finds Diaz, gets it back from him. Now Hakimi. It's Unahi again, just inside his own half. Riyad, inside the centre circle. Finds Bouhaddi, who again has just got himself into a little pocket of space. Here's Unahi now. Bouhaddi once more. Morocco, having worked their way just inside the Netherlands half, then go back to Diop. Here's El Ainaoui, finding Unahi. Hakimi immediately plays it back to him. Netherlands just sitting in a mid-block here. No real interest in pressing the ball still. As Morocco work it out to the right-hand side, where Unahi has wandered once again. Brahim Diaz, who's come in off that flank, gets the ball now, midway inside the Netherlands half. Plays it square to El Ainaoui. Bouhaddi has to go back to Diop. Just edging up the pitch a little bit more now, the Netherlands. Not confronting fully, not committing, I should say, fully to the press, but certainly doing enough to force Morocco back to Bounou, who is then forced to go Longo on his weaker right foot. That's a poor clearance from him that goes all the way through to his opposite number, Bart Verbruggen. The Netherlands have it back as Ake finds Van Dijk. Here's Van Hekke. Crosses the halfway line, finds Somerville. Somerville, though, just sees the ball bouncing away and going out of play. And that is the prompt for the referee to blow his whistle and signal the second and final hydration break. So if you're just tuning in, it's somewhat improbably still goalless between the Netherlands and Morocco in this round of 32 clash. Decent looking prize for whoever does emerge victorious this evening in the shape of a last 16 tie against Canada, who of course surrendered the potential home advantage that they would have had all the way through to the final if they'd have actually topped their group. In the end, Jesse Marsh's men had to settle for second place behind Switzerland. And were the first team to qualify for the last 16 with their 1-0 win over South Africa. A goal from Stefan Eustachio. So these two still battling it out for the right to take on the Canadians. It's going to be interesting to see if either of the managers here use this break to line up their first changes of the evening. There's been very little to choose between the two teams. Arguably Morocco have just shaded it. A really good chance, or the best chance so far in the second half, fell to Achraf Hakimi, who found himself in behind the Netherlands rearguard and smashed a shot from the inside right position that just hammered into the crossbar. And then shortly afterwards found himself through on goal again in a really similar position, only for Mickey van der Ven to slide in with an absolutely outstanding piece of defensive work. So it remains goalless. Just a quick reminder that you are listening to an independent, studio-based off-tube commentary of this clash between the Netherlands and Morocco. The game is available, of course, for you to watch with your local TV broadcaster. As things stand, the clock ticks towards 70 minutes. In this final period of the normal time, it's going to be really fascinating to see who, if anyone, can break the deadlock in Monterrey. This is just a fourth meeting historically between the two sides. At the top of the show I mentioned the clash at USA 94 in the group stage, where the Netherlands emerged as 2-1 victors. The goals from Brian Roy and Dennis Bergkamp. There's also been two friendlies. There's an away win for each team in those two games. Firstly for Morocco, their only win over the Netherlands to date. Came back in April 1999, a 2-1 success. And then the most recent clash between them, a 2-1 win for the Netherlands in May 2017. Goals provided that day by Quincy Promes and Vincent Janssen. The Netherlands are going to make a couple of changes here. Ake and Brobby going off. They're going to be replaced by Toyn Koopmeiners and also Wout Weghorst. Interestingly, Ake, as he departs, is the sole survivor on the pitch to that point from that game back in May 2017. Memphis Depay was also involved, who's among the substitutes for the Netherlands tonight. The same is also true of Morocco's Sofiane Amrabat. Ake, as I say, has departed along with Brobby. And on come Koopmeiners and Weghorst. And Weghorst immediately in the action with a little flick on to Somerville. Somerville goes down again under Mazraoui. Oh, and Gakpo sticks it away! The Netherlands have taken the lead! And it's an immediate impact from Wout Weghorst. And Cody Gakpo is down on his hands and knees. What a moment for him. Of course, the build-up to this tournament for him was an incredibly tragic one after he and his partner lost their unborn son, and he's overcome with emotion here, Cody Gakpo, as well he might be, because as things stand, he scored the goal that is going to take the Netherlands into the last 16. He gets a huge hug from his Liverpool teammate Virgil van Dijk, and he's in tears, Cody Gakpo, and you can understand why, of course. Well, it's a remarkable story, isn't it? The way that football just keeps throwing up these narratives. Hasn't been his best night, in truth, Cody Gakpo. He's been on the periphery of the game, really. But all of a sudden, Weghorst, having come onto the pitch just a couple of seconds earlier, won a header in midfield. It was just a long clearance from Verbruggen. Weghorst got there first, under no pressure, flicked it on, and suddenly Somerville was through and in behind. Mazraoui, again, like a couple of minutes earlier, was nibbling away at him, even though Somerville was the wrong side. Somerville went down, but somehow, while he was on the floor, Somerville, he's managed to get his right foot on the ball and just square it to Cody Gakpo. And despite the despairing slide tackle from Mazraoui, Cody Gakpo steered the ball under the despairing dive of Yassine Bounou. And it's the Netherlands who strike first. A really, really emotional moment for Cody Gakpo. His third goal of this tournament already. Bagged a couple in the 5-1 win against Sweden, of course. It's his 24th goal for the Netherlands in all in his 54th cap. And it also is a bit of a landmark strike for Cody Gakpo in the sense, or in the context, I should say, of this tournament, because it's his 6th in this tournament overall down the years. That brings him level with the likes of Dennis Bergkamp, Arjen Robben, Robin van Persie, Wesley Sneijder, and also Ron Rensenbrink as well. The record goal scorer in this tournament for the Netherlands is Johnny Rep on 7, so Gakpo now just 1 goal away from becoming the joint all-time leading scorer in this competition for the Netherlands. And well, you never know, he might just do it this evening, because Morocco, they've got to come forward now. 16 minutes of normal time to go to rescue this one. I was saying before, they've arguably been the better team. Probably just about edged it on chances created and quality of chances created, but they find themselves behind to that Cody Gakpo goal. Let's see what they have by way of a response, the Atlas Lions. It's Unahi trying to turn away from De Jong. The referee penalising De Jong for a challenge on Unahi that sent the Girona man sprawling to the ground. De Jong was absolutely aghast with the referee in that decision, but they're going to have a free kick here, Morocco. They're going to just use this little break in play to make a change. It's Chadi Riyad who's going off, who looks to be moving a little bit uncomfortably. That'll be a bit of a worry for Morocco, and also fans of Crystal Palace as well, because he's had plenty of trouble with injuries, hasn't he, in the past couple of years. But on comes Anas Salah Ad-Din as Morocco take the free kick short, and Diaz moves it across to the new man immediately, Salah Ad-Din. He finds El Khanous. Here's El Ainaoui. Bouadi now. Plays a pass from the middle of the park to the right to Hakimi. Hakimi into Diaz, who's bundled to the floor by Van Dijk. No foul according to the referee. Weghorst trying to hold the ball up but loses out. Now Morocco have it back with Diop. Here's Unahi now. Bouadi plays a pass square to El Ainaoui. Now here's Unahi again, finding a little bit of space on the right-hand side. Strong challenge coming in there from Van de Ven on Hakimi. Mickey Van de Ven has been penalised here. It's going to be another free kick to Morocco. It was actually Koopmeiners, the substitute, who put that challenge in on Hakimi. He's been penalised. Koopmeiners incidentally has just slotted in on the left of the 3 centre-halves for the Netherlands as Unahi barrels his way forward. The ball comes on the edge of the box here to El Ainaoui. Little piece of skill that doesn't come off there for Diaz. It's won back by Bouadi. He tries to loft the ball into the penalty area. Good saving headed clearance there by Van Hecker. Holding the ball out of play. Bouadi was trying a really intricate little flick over the top there that would have got Saibari in, but Morocco instead just have to settle for a corner. And it's Unahi who's come across to take it from the right-hand side. Gonna make something happen soon, Morocco, as in it goes. Flicked on towards the back post, headed away well over there by Dumfries. Shot comes in from Salah Ad-Din, that's well blocked, I think, by Frenkie de Jong. And the ball sails out of play for a Morocco throw-in, which Salah Ad-Din wants to take quickly and does so to Bouadi. He finds Hakimi. Now it's El Khanous wide on the right-hand side. Swings in a good-looking cross, El Khanous. Oh, and going down there on the edge of the 6-yard box was Saibari. It was a coming together between him and Dumfries. And Saibari looks at the referee inquisitively, perhaps a little half-heartedly. It was a gorgeous cross-in from the right from El Khanous, curled in right into that corridor of uncertainty in between the goalkeeper and the last line of the defence. Credit to Dumfries, who showed good strength just to stay with Saibari and just ease him out of the way. Legally, it has to be said, from Denzel Dumfries. And so another half chance for Morocco goes begging. At this stage, it just looks as though it's not going to be Ismail Saibari's night, doesn't it? The undoubted star man for Morocco so far in this tournament, with those 3 goals in the 3 group games, 1 in each of them as well. In the meantime now, there's going to be a change here for Morocco, possibly a double change actually. Brahim Diaz has definitely gone off. I think we're going to see, Bouadi is going to go off as well. And they've been replaced by Samir El Mourabet and also Jessim Yassin. So, 11 minutes to go for Morocco to find an equaliser and potentially take us into extra time. Here, straight into the action is Yassin, who's gone in on the right-hand side. He finds his fellow substitute El Mourabet, who's gone into the centre of the park. He's a little bit more of an attacking option compared to Bouadi. There's Weghorst battling away in midfield. Oh, there's a clash of heads there between Gravenberch and Saibari. And the referee just stopping the game. It's Gravenberch who looks to have come off the worst from that particular collision. So, just have to wait for a moment for the game to resume. But in the meantime, just a reminder, if you are joining us, that it's the Netherlands who are leading by 1-0. A goal scored by Cody Gakpo after really good work from Wout Weghorst, the substitute, and Crescencio Somerville. A really poignant moment for Cody Gakpo, as well as he scores his 6th goal in this tournament, in his 9th appearance. It's a really good record, isn't it? She scored in all 3 group games 4 years ago in the 2022 instalment in Qatar. Gravenberch now just getting back to his feet a little bit gingerly. So the clock really against Morocco now as they look to conjure an equaliser from somewhere. If it does end up staying 1-0 to the Netherlands, they can probably feel a little hard done by Morocco. They certainly can't be counted out with the chances they've created so far. Who's to say they won't create an even better one in the final 9 minutes plus injury time or so. We're back underway again. It's with Issa Diop. Here's El Mourabet. Now Hakimi, midway inside the Netherlands half. Here's Yassin, who came on as a sub after 70 minutes against Haiti and scored. Now Morocco could do with something similar tonight. There's a good passes played into the penalty area, and it was Yassin who was making a run into the box off the right-hand side, but the pass was just a little bit too heavy for him. Rolled all the way through to Bart Verbruggen. Puts the ball on the ground and clears it long to Weghorst, who again wins the header and again tries to find Somerville, but this time Mazraoui deals with it well. And the ball comes free to El Ainaoui. Here's Hakimi now. Yassin. Nice little piece of play and little pirouette to get away from Gakpo. El Mourabet tries to find Saibari. That's cleared by Van der Ven. Good piece of play from Dumfries to get away, and a good pass too to Gakpo. Gakpo now surging upfield. Plays it to his right, looking for Dumfries, but that's a poor pass from him, the goal scorer, and Morocco have it back. Just looking a little weary all of a sudden, Cody Gakpo, as is Ryan Gravenberch as he jogs back. As Yassin, the 20-year-old Strasbourg man, finds Unahi. He's had a pretty decent game, and if he remains on the losing side at this stage, as Morocco look to work it down the left-hand side this time. It's back here with El Ainaoui. Hakimi now in a more central position. Picks it up and plays it to his right to Yassin. Now here's El Mourabet. Tries a clipped ball over the top. Looking for the run infield of El Khanous there, but execution pretty poor from El Mourabet. also plays for Strasbourg. Nice little symmetry in that double change from Morocco. Both of the new additions, 20 years of age, and both Strasbourg players. As Somerville drives into the penalty area, but he's been penalised for a foul earlier in that particular move. He thought he was in behind again for a second there, Crescencio Somerville. So Ronald Koeman is going to make another change here. You can see Quinton Timber is all ready to come on. He'll be entering the fray to win his 13th cap. In the meantime, before that change happens, Morocco have got the game back underway. It's El Mirabet moving it on to Mazraoui, who steps inside the Netherlands half. Oh, poor pass from Mazraoui, looking to find Saibari, but just getting it all wrong. And here's Somerville now for the Netherlands. Slides a nice pass down the right-hand side to Dumfries, who almost for the first time gets to open his legs, and he's still going. Dumfries down to the byline, little cutback, and that's cleared away by Mazraoui. But that was vintage Denzel Dumfries there. We haven't really seen it, as I say, in this game, but once he gets motoring, he's almost impossible to stop, isn't he? But up at the other end, here come Morocco now. Saibari in the space that Dumfries had vacated, but Van Dijk steps in to win it back for the Netherlands. The ball goes out of play for a Morocco throw. Van Dijk takes the plaudits from his teammates, as that was another really dangerous situation where Saibari was just looking to get in and get through one-on-one with Verbruggen. As it is, Morocco, the best they can get at this point is a throw-in. And the clock is just ticking away and ticking away all the time against them here. It's going to be a double substitution for the Netherlands. As well as Timber, I can see Jarell Hato is going to be coming on. A double change, I think, as well for Morocco. Looks as though Unahi is going off. Coming on to replace him is Soufiane Rahimi. I'll just confirm shortly who's coming off for the Netherlands. It's Shemsteen Talbi also entering the fray for Morocco. And those departures for Holland are Gravenberch and Van der Ven. As I say, coming on Timber and Hato. As from Verbruggen's long clearance, Weghorst wins another header. Morocco have it back now, but then Van Hecke wins it in the air. First involvement here for Timber, who's trying to make a barnstorming run down the right-hand side. Ball goes out of play, though, and the verdict goes to Morocco. And it's a throw-in that's Salah-Ad-Din. He's just delaying overtaking. He needs to get on with it. Goes long. Ooh, little coming together there between Van Hecke and Dumfries, but the Netherlands have the ball, and here goes Weghorst, trying to burst through the middle into the penalty area. He's dispossessed temporarily. Sliding in there was Timber. Really good play from him to win it back for the Netherlands. Hato moves it on to Gakpo, onto the left foot. Gakpo, oh, tried a low cross. Well blocked there at the near post by Issa Diop. And the Netherlands have themselves a corner. Just to confirm, it was Unahi and El Khanous, as I suggested, who departed for Morocco, with Talbi and Rahimi entering the fray. The ball is not where Morocco wants it to be at this stage. It's on the corner spot, and it's Koopmeiners who's going to swing it in with his left foot. Good delivery, headed up but not entirely away by Diop. It's volleyed back out towards the left-hand side by Timber. But that's not going to find an orange shirt. Instead, it's going to go behind and out of play. And Bounou can get things moving again for Morocco, which he does. He finds Saibari, who's come very short to receive. Here's Yassine. Finds Saibari again. Good piece of play between those two. Here's Rahimi now. Rahimi goes back to Hakimi. Saibari's still down here. Hakimi urging the referee to stop the game, and then in the end, Hakimi trying to force the referee's hand actually by just putting it out of play. Get the impression that the referee's not entirely convinced by Saibari's claim here, but it was Timber who actually just wrapped both hands around the neck of Ismail Saibari. Has the referee belatedly awarded a free kick here to Morocco? I'm not sure. Saibari is back to his feet. 5 goals for him in his last 5 appearances for Morocco. Doesn't look as though he's going to add to his tally this evening, does it? As we head into the final 60 seconds now of normal time. Game did restart with a drop ball for Morocco, and it's been played back to Hakimi over on the right-hand side. Here's El Ainaoui. Diop now, playing a square pass across the face of the centre circle to Mazraoui. Back again with Issa Diop. Here's Hakimi now. Tries to slide a pass up to the edge of the Netherlands penalty area. That's well blocked by Gakpo. And the free kick, and the throw-in, I should say, is taken quickly. Here's Mazraoui. Diop again, just inside the Netherlands half. Koeman's men sitting in now. They are more than happy to defend what they have at this point, as El Mourabet finds El Ainaoui. Mazraoui with a bit of space to stride forward. Plays it to his left to Salah Ad-Din. In comes the right-footed cross, teasing one! Oh, they have found the equaliser! Would you believe it? It's Issa Diop! I have no idea what he was doing up there, but Morocco are absolutely delighted that he was up there, because he's brought this game level just as we strike into 6 minutes of additional time. Wild scenes of celebration among the Morocco fans. Wow! Issa Diop pops up with probably the biggest goal he'll ever score in his career. It's his first for Morocco, and what a time to provide it. Just found himself in acres of space right in the heart of the penalty area, and when the ball came to him, he had the time and the space to plant the header into the top corner beyond the despairing dive of Bart Verbruggen. And it's Fulham's Issa Diop, who may well be taking us to extra time here. Brilliant, brilliant header from him. It was actually Shemsteen Talbi who swung the cross in. I thought it was Salah Ad-Din initially. Gorgeous right-footed cross from the left-hand side from Talbi towards the back post. And then side on to the goal. Diop just steering it beyond the despairing left hand of Bart Verbruggen. Virgil van Dijk looks to the heavens in despair. And it does look as though this one is going to continue into extra time, unless, of course, one of these two teams has got yet another little twist in the tail for us in what remains of the additional time. So Gakpo for the Netherlands, cancelled out by Diop for Morocco, who have kept their tournament alive right at the death here. And there's now 2 minutes of additional time played, so 4 to go. And we're at the discretion of the referee, Sampaio, at this point. Morocco fans really in full voice now, in celebratory mood. They must have thought they were going home, but now they think they might be able to win it as they come down the right-hand side. It's Yassine coming in field, laying it back to El Mourabet. He plays the pass into El Ainaoui. Yassine just dispossessed in midfield by Frenkie de Jong. Somerville, heavy touch from him, but Timber picks up the second ball, battling away over there with El Ainaoui. He's going to get penalised here is Neil El Ainaoui. He can't believe that decision, but I think it's a fair one. Just grabbing the back of Quinton Timber and sending him sprawling to the turf. Ah, penny for the thoughts of Ronald Koeman. He must have thought his side had drawn Morocco's sting. It looked as though they were just starting to run out of ideas. And out of nowhere, Issa Diop just deciding to hell with it. I'm going to make a run forward. And he found himself in the perfect place to meet that Talbi cross. They've got some defending to do here, Morocco. as Koopmeiners stands over this free kick. It's wide on the right, more or less halfway inside the Morocco half. In it goes from Koopmeiners towards the back post. Van Dijk's there, heads it up, but he can't steer it back in towards the penalty spot. And the ball goes behind, and Morocco have a goal kick, which he wanted to take quickly there to Mazraoui, but the referee has asked Yassine Bounou to go back and do it again. And I think this time he's going to go long, the Morocco goalkeeper. Indeed he does with the left foot. Drills it high into the Netherlands half. Towering header, won there by Hato. And it's nodded on by Rahimi, but only as far as Van Hekke. Van Hekke clipping a ball down the right-hand side. Chasing over there, inevitably, is Dumfries, who's done well to win it against Saladin, has he? Oh, he's just been penalised for a foul there, Dumfries. I think that's a little bit harsh. Saladin just looked as though he'd lost the physical battle against Denzel Dumfries there. Dumfries was set to get beyond him. Instead, it's Morocco who get the free kick, get the call from the referee. So it does look as though extra time is beckoning here. There's been precious little to separate these two teams, and perhaps now 30 minutes extra is what's required. But hang on a minute as Morocco come forward. Hakimi getting involved with Talbi over there on the left-hand side. Low cross into Saibari. Tries to hold off Van Dijk. Van Dijk does well to win it back to the Netherlands. And then it's chipped away up to Weghorst, who flicks it on. And suddenly there's a good opportunity here. Somerville bursting towards the penalty area. Still going. Somerville tries a shot. Oh, outstanding slide tackle from Mazraoui. Well, I said earlier, didn't I, the one that Mickey van der Ven put in on Hakimi wouldn't be topped, but that was pretty close to topping it, because certainly for the importance and the moment of the game, if Somerville had pulled the trigger there, that would almost certainly have been a winner for the Netherlands. But instead, it was a brilliant tackle from Mazraoui, and now here come Morocco up the other end. Yassine finding a pass to Saibari. Good challenge from De Jong coming in there. He's fouled there by Saibari. Gakpo down as well. And it just looks as though the game now is all set to peter out. We've played the 6 minutes that were originally added on. We may get a little bit more for the celebrations that followed that Diop equaliser. As Verbruggen prepares to take the free kick, awarded for that foul on Frankie de Jong. He goes long, down the right-hand side. Weghorst tries to nod it down, and then battling away over there with El Mourabet. It's going to be a throw-in to the Netherlands. Midway inside the Morocco half. Dumfries has the ball in his hands. You'd imagine he'll be launching this towards the penalty area if he can. Perhaps just one more chance here for the Netherlands. It's Dumfries now. Off a long run-up. Launches it into the box. Gets good distance. Headed away really well there by Morocco. Dumfries wins it back though. And the referee has blown the final whistle. And so it is going to be extra time required in Monterrey. It looked for all the world as though the Netherlands were going to be advancing to the last 16 to face Canada. And Cody Gakpo produced an excellent finish on 72 minutes after brilliant work initially by Weghorst, who had only been on the pitch a matter of a few seconds. He nodded along Bart Verbruggen clearance on to Crescencio Somerville. Somerville, not for the first time, got in behind Mazraoui, although Mazraoui bundled him to the floor as he fell. Somerville managed to just hook his right foot around the ball to get it square to Cody Gakpo, who was then on hand to prod the ball under Bounou to give the Netherlands the lead. If you are just tuning in, it was an incredibly emotional moment for Cody Gakpo, who, if you weren't aware of it, lost his unborn son prior to the tournament starting, and there were tears for Cody Gakpo as he immediately sank to his knees and pressed his forehead and his fingertips to the ground. just consumed by emotion in the moment there as he gave the Netherlands what looked as though it was going to be a definitive lead as the clock ticked into injury time at the end of the game. Morocco probably feeling a little bit hard done by considering the chances they'd missed during the game. But then all of a sudden, the ball was picked up on the left-hand side by Sunderland's Shemstein Talbi, a man who has already shown, actually in his time in England, that he's a bit of an appetite for the big occasion. You'll probably remember a winning goal he scored for Sunderland against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in October. He seemed to like the big occasion. He actually scored at Anfield as well against Liverpool, and also at St James's Park against Newcastle, which is absolute manna from heaven for any Sunderland player, isn't it? Let alone one just coming in from abroad for their first season with the Black Cats. But anyway, it was Talbi who picked it up on the left-hand side, and he produced an absolutely beautiful curling cross into the penalty area. And there was Issa Diop, the Fulham centre-half, who had just thrown caution to the wind, making a run forward. He planted the header into the back of the net. No chance really for Bart Verbruggen, who dived away and tried to palm the ball away with his left hand, but wasn't able to do so. And so, after 96 minutes or so, nothing to separate the Netherlands and Morocco. So it's extra time required. The prize on offer for these two is a last 16 clash with Canada, who of course put their place in the last 16 by seeing off South Africa. The way that that particular section of the draw is looking is pretty interesting, because assuming France do the business against Sweden, get past Paraguay, who were the surprise conquerors of Germany earlier this evening, of course, in a shootout. And there is a potential quarter-final clash on the cards between the winner of this game that we're interested in tonight and France. First, we need to somehow find a way of separating the Netherlands and Morocco. There wasn't much in it between them over the course of normal time, so the additional 30 minutes required. And look, if necessary, a penalty shootout as well. We'll think about that perhaps a little bit closer to the time, but for now, the players are almost ready to get things back underway. So it's going to be the Netherlands who do so, and they pass it straight back to Verbruggen. He launches it long up towards Weghorst, who's just manhandled out of it by Mazraoui. Salah-Eddin tries to clear it down the left-hand side. Ball takes a little deflection there off Dumfries. And Morocco have themselves a throw-in. More or less level with the edge of their own penalty area on that left-hand side. It's Salah-Eddin, one of those three Morocco players I mentioned earlier who were born in the Netherlands. We're now trying to eliminate them from this competition. Got themselves another throw-in of Morocco. Koeman paces down his technical area. Salah-Eddin launches it long. Winning a little flick there was Rahimi. Good headed clearance by Dumfries. Cute little chest down by Talbi finds Rakimi temporarily, and bursting away with the ball for Holland was Somerville. He's quickly met with a challenge that sends the ball dribbling out of play. And it's going to be a throw into the Netherlands. Dumfries has it on the right-hand side, midway inside their own half. Bit of a loose touch, presents the ball to Weghorst. He goes down. Foul there going against El Mourabet. And so the Netherlands with a free kick here. They're wasting little time in wanting to take it, but the referee says no. Sorry, I'm not happy with that. You need to bring it back. Actually, they're going to send the big guns forward here, the Netherlands. It's only about 5 or 10 yards inside the Morocco half, and it's quite wide over on the right-hand side, but they certainly feel as though Koopmeiners can swing a good ball in here, which he does. Launches it towards the back post area. Ball's going to come here to Gakpo. Does well to let it back to Harto. His cross is a good one. Ball's going to come here on the edge of the box to Somerville. He's quickly swamped by white shirts, and well, I think there's a handball decision that's gone against the Netherlands here. I'm not sure who it was who has been penalised, who the culprit was, but the referee certainly indicating a handball. And Morocco given a free kick inside their own penalty area. They get things moving again now with Mazraoui. Salah Dean, a bit of a hospital pass to El Ainaoui, who just hacks it long with his left foot and out of play, which allows Dumfries to take a throw. He goes long down the line towards the head of Weghorst. Nice little layoff from him. Diop read it well, though, to volley the ball clear. Picked up over on the left-hand side by Harto, who does well to win the throw-in off Yassine. Now here's Koopmeiners. Van Dijk moving it on to Van Hekke. Virgil van Dijk now inside the centre circle, just inside the Netherlands half. Van Hekke just ambling forward, clipping a nice little ball down the right, looking for the run of Dumfries, and some sharp defending over there by Salah Adine. It's going to be a throw into the Netherlands, though. Midway inside the Morocco half. I do just wonder if there's going to be one more moment in this game for one of these two teams. It does have the feel of a game that's going to produce a dramatic late winner somewhere along the way, but let's see. Van Dijk plays it to his left to Koopmeiners. Koopmeiners clips the ball up into the penalty area. Bonu comes out, punches away reasonably convincingly, and then De Jong. Well, De Jong can't believe that he's been penalised here, but he has. From that clearance from Bunu, who got a couple of strong hands on it. Frankie De Jong just being penalised for a sort of bundling challenge in midfield on El Ainaoui. And Morocco quite happy to take the free kick. And here is El Ainaoui. He plays it to his right to Diop. Back to Neil El Ainaoui now, who just temporarily dropped in between the centre halves. Incidentally, Mazraoui has shifted to centre back since the departure of Chadi Riyad, with Salah Adine filling in for him at left back now. And it's El Ainaoui again, who makes his way up to the halfway line and just pauses. Lays it back to El Mourabet. Waiting for the ball here is Hakimi. Hakimi decides to go all the way back to Bunu. And now here's Mazraoui. Still midway inside his own half. And again, Holland just happy to sit off when the Morocco defenders have the ball. Weghorst is just patrolling behind the play, but not really forcing any sort of errors out of Morocco at this stage, as El Ainaoui makes a good pass to his left to Saladin. Talbi trying to eject a bit of pace. Saibari, chance here for a goal. Oh my word! It was Rahimi. He cannot believe he's missed. I think it's a save by Verbruggen, and if so, it might even top the one that he produced in the first half from El Ainaoui, because Hakimi just produced a lovely dummy. Koopmeiners was sliding in. Lovely dummy to get away from him. And he must have just thought, oh, I'm going to get the winner here now, Soufiane Rahimi. But somehow Bart Verbruggen, again spreading his body, the ball bounced off his right knee and has somehow spun away and behind. Well, if the Netherlands do somehow get through this game, they're really going to have their goalkeeper to thank. He has produced 3 or 4 now, really top saves, as Hakimi swings in the corner again, going for that low delivery to the near post from the left-hand side. This time the Netherlands were wise to it. Could have come away on the break there, but De Jong's pass to Gakpo was a little bit slack, although the Barcelona man fouled according to the referee. Brilliant goalkeeping from Bart Verbruggen. Just made himself really, really big, spread himself well. Soufiane Rahimi, my word, he's made a big impact in the game against Haiti. Came on with 20 minutes remaining in that one when it was 2 apiece. Scored a goal himself and then also picked up an assist for Jessim Yassin's goal. And he was that close to having another really significant impact off the bench for Morocco. But for now, it's the men in orange coming forward, and it's Van Hekke. Tries to slide a pass down the line to Dumfries, but he gets it all wrong there, does Van Hekke. And Morocco have the throw-in. It's going to be taken by Salah Ad-Din. It's almost exactly midway inside their own half. They've lost the ball here now, though. Timber finds a pass inside. It's De Jong. Bit of a slack ball from him, and now there's a break on for Morocco. Ball over the top, looking for the run of Rahimi again from left to right. Van Dijk's over there, and Van Dijk wins the ball on the volley. Good defending again from the Netherlands captain. He just volleys the ball away from Rahimi, and out of play for another Morocco throw, which has been taken all the way back to Hakimi. Here's Salah Ad-Din now. Wide to Talbi, who takes it in his stride and immediately darts in field. Salah Ad-Din going back to Mazraoui this time. And then here's El Ainaoui. El Mourabet lays it back to Diop, the goal scorer for Morocco, of course. Now here's El Ainaoui again. Crosses the halfway line. Plays a short 3 or 4 yard pass to his left to Salah Ad-Din. Morocco just working it across their back line from right to left to right to left. And now a bit of an injection of pace as El Mourabet. Nice little layoff to El Ainaoui. Space for Diop to run into as he steps into the Netherlands half with the ball. Here's El Mourabet again. Now it's come to Mazraoui, just on the halfway line, right in the middle of the park. Worked out to the left-hand side to Saibari. Not too many options for Ismail Saibari. Finds one of them in field. Now it comes to Salah Ad-Din. Talbi plays it inside to El Ainaoui. Now here's El Mourabet. Once again, Holland just sitting off, making a bit of a 5-4-1 shape. Just saying to Morocco, well, come on then, let's see if you can play through us. Actually 6 orange shirts strung across the edge of their own penalty area temporarily there as the sideways passing from Morocco continues. El Mourabet to Diop. Diop now thought about going forward, but instead just plays it square once again to Mazraoui. Little layoff from El Ainaoui. Gets it back from Mazraoui. And here is Manchester United man again. Morocco just really happy just to run through some easy phases of possession until El Ainaoui finds a good pass between the lines. Crunching tackle comes in from Van Hekke on Saibari. Morocco once again collecting the second ball. And they're looking to come forward now with El Mourabet. Here's El Ainaoui. Hakimi wide on the right hand side, darts in field, lays it back to Diop. Here's Mazraoui. Oh, bit of a loose one from him, almost presented it to Salah Ad-Din, but Weghorst looked as though he'd won the ball fairly there, I thought, and was suddenly bounding away down the right hand side. Must have been an infringement there from Wout Weghorst. Yeah, the ball's actually hit his hand. Salah Ad-Din tried to just chip it up and over Weghorst as he came charging in to press, and the ball just clipped Weghorst's right hand. It's a fairly easy call for the referee on this occasion. There's Morocco now. Can they create something before half-time in this extra time period? It's El Ainaoui. Good pass out to the left-hand side to Talbi. He's got Salah-Eddine on the overlap. Tries a left-footed cross. It bounces off Dumfries straight to Salah-Eddine. Back with Talbi again. Thinks about the right-footed cross. Jinking, twisting, turning. Good challenge coming in there by Somerville. But one back well by Salah-Eddine. El Ainaoui. Snapping in there was Quentin Timber. And Timber doing some really good pressing to force Morocco all the way back to Bunu. And then decides to play it short to El Mourabet. Here's Neil El Ainaoui. Now it's come to Salah-Eddine. Mazraoui playing a little pass up to El Ainaoui. He plays it across the width of the centre circle, where stepping onto the ball for Morocco was El Mourabet. Here's El Ainaoui again. Nice little pass up there to Rahimi. The layoff goes back to him. Talbi again. Just an exchange of passes. This time with Salah-Eddine. Now here's El Mourabet. Again, Morocco in no great hurry to try and force the issue, as El Ainaoui slides a pass over towards the right touchline that's collected well by Hakimi. Now it's moved on to Salah-Eddine. Salah-Eddine finds El Mourabet in the centre circle, just inside the Netherlands half. Netherlands again just happy to sit in a mid-block. Only really committing as Morocco approach their defensive third. As Somerville now looks to close down his man. Saibari with a low cross. Good little clearance there. Needs strength here, does Timber. Just shoves away Neil El Ainaoui. It was a good piece of play by Quentin Timber. Just felt the challenge coming in as he was shielding the ball, and almost just bought the free kick from the referee there, really. And so we're into the final 30 seconds of the first 15 minutes of normal time in this first period of extra time. No change to the scoreline. Still Netherlands 1, Morocco 1. As long ball makes its way towards Weghorst. Dealt with well by Morocco, but for the concession of a corner, it's Dumfries now. Only about 5 yards or so shy of the edge of the penalty area. Wide on the right-hand side. In it goes from Dumfries. Headed away well by the Morocco back line. And the referee blows his whistle. And so that's half-time in extra time here. Still, the Netherlands 1, Morocco 1 in this round of 32 clash. Still nothing between these two. If you are just tuning in, it was the Netherlands who came oh so close to getting through to the last 16 thanks to a goal from Cody Gakpo with 18 minutes or so remaining. Alas, it wasn't to be for Ronald Koeman and his men, because just a minute or so into injury time at the end of the game, really sweet cross by one of the Morocco substitutes, Shemsteen Talbi, was nodded into the back of the net by Fulham's Issa Diop to bring Morocco level. And in fairness, the scoreline certainly doesn't flatter them. You could make the case that they've actually been the better team on balance. Certainly Verbruggen has had to produce the better saves and has had the most work to do. And so now we await the final 15 minutes of action between these two. And if we can't find a winner in that period, well, you all know what comes next. It's the penalty shootout. Again, we will confront that if it comes to it. But in Monterrey, It's going longer into the evening than many people anticipated. And perhaps we shouldn't be too surprised when it's a meeting between two teams ranked number 7 and 8 in the world, respectively, for Morocco and the Netherlands. And of course, now being in the extra time period, each manager is awarded an extra change, and it looks as though Ronald Koeman is going to cash that particular chip in here. I can see Luc Chorel, Geert Reuter getting ready. Another Sunderland man. As the Moroccans now just slowly begin to filter back into position. Well, Geert Reuter was stripped off, but he's put his bib back on for the moment. Whether or not that means that change isn't going to happen anymore, or whether Ronald Koeman's just waiting to see how his players start this second period of extra time. That remains to be seen, but for now the Morocco players all just gathered in a little huddle by the halfway line. There's 22 players currently active in the game, all head back to their starting positions. And it's going to be Morocco who get us back underway. They'll be attacking from left to right in this second half of extra time. And their all-white strip, change strip for them, up against the very traditional all-orange kits of the Netherlands. And we're back underway as El Mourabet finds El Ainaoui. A few little hints that perhaps Netherlands are starting to tire just a little bit in that first period of extra time. But what you can't rule out with Ronald Koeman's men is that they could pop up with a winner from nowhere. They've got attacking capability all over the pitch. As Mazraoui finds El Mourabet. He ambles up towards the halfway line and then just plays an almost apologetic pass backwards to Mazraoui. Here's Salah Adine now. He finds Talbi. Diop, the goal scorer, with a nice little layoff. Hakimi combining over there on the right-hand side with Saibari, or at least trying to, but the Netherlands come away with the ball. And showing some good pace there down the left-hand side is Gakpo, but he's then dispossessed. And then Gakpo just leaving a foot in there. Is he going to be penalised? Foul was on Salah Adine. Looks as though he's going to escape further punishment there. As Morocco just look to try and unpick this diligent Dutch rearguard. Ball is now with Mazraoui, just on the edge of his own penalty area. Diop gets it from him. And now here's El Ainaoui, who again is having plenty of the ball when he just sits off in front of the two centre-halves. And here he is again, El Ainaoui. Tries a clip ball over the top, looking for the run here of Yassine. Good defending back there by Koopmeiners. Headed away by Hato. And flicked on further by Timber. Could turn into a decent ball, that. Oh, and being flattered there was Cody Gakpo. Nothing doing according to the referee, but it seems a little bit harsh. I thought Gakpo was bundled to the floor myself, but on we go. And it's Morocco back in possession once again. Good pass out to Hakimi on the right-hand side. Plenty of orange shirts back to swarm around him, though. Now it's moved on to El Mourabet. Wide on the left-hand side. Looking for options, looking for support. Here is El Ainaoui again. In the centre circle, just inside the Netherlands half. Clips one to his right to Hakimi. Has he got one last trick up his sleeve for Morocco? Ashraf Hakimi. Just never know. As El Mourabet now picks the ball up midway inside the Netherlands half. Plays it to his left to Salah Ad-Din. It's back here with El Mourabet. And then worked over to this right-hand side where Rahimi has just been a little bit quiet over the last few minutes, but gets involved now, stepping in field. And here's Issa Diop. Ball is worked over to the left-hand side to Salah Ad-Din. Here's El Mourabet now for Morocco. Again, the Netherlands just really sitting in and no interest in pressing the ball in the middle section of their half. It's only when Morocco start advancing closer to the penalty area that those Dutch defenders truly engage. I clearly feel as though Morocco don't really have the pace or guile to threaten them properly in behind. As Verbruggen launches a long ball down the right-hand side. Bundled to the floor there was Weghorst. That decision is going to go against Salah Ad-Din. And the Netherlands will have a free kick. And just before taking it, looks as though they're going to make a change as well. Martin de Roon of Atalanta, I can see down there, ready to come on. And it looks as though he'll be replacing Frenkie de Jong, who's grown in stature a bit as the games wore on. Frenkie de Jong, but he didn't really stamp his authority in the game, perhaps as he would have liked to have done. De Roon is on now. As in comes the free kick, headed on towards the back post. That was a dangerous looking delivery for sure. Now coming away with a nice little cushion volley is Saibari. And then it's Rahimi. Saibari once more. Now here's El Ainaoui, driving over the halfway line. Passing it to his right-hand side to Yassine. Here's a chance for El Mourabet now. Oh, nice piece of play over on that left-hand side. Electric stuff. In comes the cross. And that's really well dealt with. I think, was it Van Hecker back there? I'm not sure, but now there's a little battle between Weghorst and the two centre-halves. Weghorst then goes crashing into his man in midfield, El Mourabet. And the upshot of all of that is that the Netherlands have a free kick. Referee saying, I think, for a pull of the shirt. Cody Gakpo just getting a helping hand from Saibari there for what seems to be a little bit of cramp. And so now, with just over 8.5 minutes to go, there's a free kick here for Holland. Koopmeiners is standing over the ball. It's a pretty central position, so tough to work a really good angle. So he's played it towards the back post, headed on and up, and trying to produce a bicycle kick there was Cody Gakpo. But he was just eased off the ball. And he's quite cheeky there because he found himself off the pitch, Gakpo, but he's now just rolled back onto the pitch so that he can deal with his latest bout of cramp. I think you'd be absolutely fuming if you were a rival team and you were losing. He's saying he needs to come off is Cody Gakpo. And look, whatever happens, whether he comes off or not, no one can ever take away what happened for him tonight. That incredibly emotional moment as he swooped to stick away that glorious opportunity that was created for him by Somerville. Such an emotional moment. So hard not to get swept up in all of that. The main thing is he's done his job for his team. He moves on to 4 goals for this, or 3 goals for this tournament, I should say. 6 in this competition all time, moving alongside some greats of Dutch football. And maybe if they survive this round, the Netherlands, Gakpo will be able to join Johnny Rep in that outright lead with 7. For now, he's been withdrawn, and coming on to replace him is Bournemouth's Justin Kluivert. Just wonder if that's with a sneaky little eye on penalties from Ronald Koeman, because you'd certainly imagine Kluivert will be putting his hand up to take one. It's been obviously a frustrating season for him at Bournemouth. He was out from January to mid-May with another knee injury. He's had a few years with injury problems. But he's on for the final 6 minutes or so of normal time here. Let's see what, if anything, he can do to try and steer this game towards the Netherlands, to bend this game towards their will. As Mazraoui clears it out to the left-hand side. Back infield really nicely there. It's picked up by El Mourabet and then El Ainaoui. El Mourabet again. Coming forward here, not the most quickly, was Diop. Little layoff from Saibari. In comes the cross from the left-hand side. Decent one that was. Headed away well by Koopmeiners, I think it was. Somerville trying to come away with the ball. Just crowded out. Does really well, Somerville. Surely he's fouled there by Salah Ad-Din. I mean, Salah Ad-Din is trying to get him back on his feet, but I'm sure that's going to be happening for a little while. As Hakimi finds El Mourabet. Well, still down here is Crescencio Somerville. There's a challenge that came in that was pretty robust by Salah Ad-Din. By robust, I mean, he didn't touch the ball. So I think Crescencio Somerville understandably feel a little bit hard done by to get the award. Instead, it's a drop ball for Morocco. The referee giving them the ball back, the Atlas Lions. Here's Hakimi now. 4 minutes to go. Can we find a hero in Monterrey? Here's Rahimi now. Plays a pass inside to El Ainaoui. It's Mazraoui stepping onto the ball, firing a pass into the edge of the penalty area. Here he is again now. It's Mazraoui, and then it's El Ainaoui. Yassine trying to bring in the crossfield pass to the left-hand side. Didn't quite come off though. As now we await the resumption of the game with a throw-in for Morocco. And we're heading inexorably towards penalties, aren't we? It does seem. 3 minutes left of the 120, plus whatever the officials want to add on to their satisfaction for this half of extra time. Will we find a goal before that, though? Let's see now. It's Morocco, again enjoying the lion's share of possession in these extra 30 minutes, but just not looking all that threatening when they do have it. That's the truth. Certainly not over the last 20 to 25 minutes anyway. Perhaps over the piece in the normal 90 they were the more threatening team. It just looks as though, as often happens with knockout games, some of the stuffing has gone out of these players, particularly in these stifling conditions. You can't really blame them if they're just looking to conserve their mental energy for what could be about to come. It's going to be a throw-in the meantime for the Netherlands. It's just inside their own half on the left-hand side. Coming over there to take it for the Netherlands was Koopmeiners. And he now has the ball back as it's quickly volleyed forward again. Good touch and clearance coming in there from Verbruggen. Now it's with Diop. Diop's pass into midfield finds El Mourabet. Now here's Salah Ad-Din. Driving down the left-hand side. He's got 3, maybe 4 orange shirts for company. Tries to play a deft little 1-2 with Brahimi. Didn't quite come off. Now, Netherlands have it back. We're into the final 60 seconds of this absorbing last 32 tie. Which isn't to say that it's nearly over, because if there are no further goals, we are going to have a shootout, penalty shootout here, as Van Hecker finds Virgil van Dijk. Here's Koopmeiners. Good piece of play over there by Kluivert, at least initially, looking to escape the clutches of his man, but I think now both teams looking as though they're pretty happy to settle for penalties, but Verbruggen launches it long. Weghorst gets his head on the ball. Timber tries to bring it down for the Netherlands. El Anawi does bring it down for Morocco, expertly. Now, some good pressure by Hato, forcing the ball back to Diop. So it's just the 1 minute of extra time at the end of this second period of extra time. There's a long ball down the line towards Hakimi, is just a bit overcooked. And so we are very close now to having to decide who goes through to the last 16 to face Canada. And a contest over 12 yards. Just a little bit of a delay here now, though, because Saibari has been busted open. Looks like he's taken a nasty cut just on the eyebrow of his right eye. There's a fair bit of blood that's already been lost there, that's on his shirt, just staining it, staining the white shirt with the red blood splash. I think he's going to need to get this cleaned up as Saibari, because it looks as though it's still bleeding. The blood's running down his face. It's going onto his neck and so forth. So the Morocco medical team just patching up Ismail Saibari, who I'm sure will be looking to take a penalty himself. As Weghorst, little flick. Now bursting through the middle is Somerville. Has he got the pace to get there? Oh, just about. Salah Ad-Din just about got there ahead of Somerville. Wow, his heart must have been in his mouth there. And that's Salah Ad-Din, because Somerville had really turned the afterburners on and was surging through the middle onto that pass. He just about got there in time, did Salah Ad-Din. And as it turns out, that is the last action of the 120 minutes. It is going to be penalties to decide this contest. So it's going to be Verbruggen against Bunu. Verbruggen has definitely had the upper hand in regulation play. I can think of at least 3 amazing saves that Bart Verbruggen made. Bunu did make a couple of good stops himself, it has to be said. But now, those 2 goalkeepers in particular going to have the chance to make themselves the hero. Such is the way with these penalty shootouts. And interestingly, Morocco did find themselves in an almost identical scenario 4 years ago in Qatar in the round of 16, where they ended up going to a shootout against Spain. And against the odds, they ended up victorious in that one, scoring 3 penalties without even allowing Spain to score 1. I've seen Bunu of course, was in goal for that shootout. He saved on that occasion from Sergio Busquets, also Carlos Soler. They've got a pretty good record in these situations, Morocco, you know. They also ended up in a shootout in the semi-final of the Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year. And they were up against Nigeria. On that occasion, Bunu saved 2 penalties. One from Samuel Chukwueze, the other from Bruno Onyemaichi. That allowed them to get through to the final that I did say right at the top of the show we were going to talk more about, which we ended up not doing. But of course that was the incredibly controversial AFCON final against Senegal. I'm sure you'll remember a game that Senegal ultimately won 1-0, funnily enough after extra time as well, after some incredible scenes in which they walked off in protest at the decision to award Morocco a penalty, having disallowed a Senegal goal prior to that. Of course, Brahim Diaz and the Senegal players did eventually re-emerge. Somehow decided it would be a good idea to choose that moment of all moments to produce a penalty down the middle, a Panenka. And the scores were 0-0 in the Africa Cup of Nations final. That one kick would have won the trophy for Morocco. But then, of course, they have since been awarded the trophy off the pitch without actually playing. Senegal penalised for their conduct in leaving the pitch and forced to concede the match 3-0 to Morocco. There's plenty of mileage to go yet in that story. It's going to go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. I'm sure there's going to be appeals and counter appeals and so on, but as things stand, Morocco are the African champions. They do have an incredible record. They hardly ever lose games of football. As I saw one wag put it recently, even when they do lose, they did Senegal, they still win. Because that's the way it's panned out. But we're almost ready for this shootout. Achraf Hakimi and Virgil van Dijk, the 2 captains, are now in dialogue with the referee. They're about to do the coin toss to decide, firstly, who will take the first penalty, and also which end the shootout will be conducted from. So, it's all going to come down to this. The Netherlands, for their part, got a pretty checkered history with penalties. They actually went out at the previous tournament in Qatar 4 years ago at the hands of Argentina, the eventual winners, of course. It was a remarkable game, that one, if you remember. Argentina were 2-0 up for Weghorst, as much as he did today, came off the bench to have an impact, but much more significant impact in that game, scoring twice to force extra time and then eventually meandered all the way through to penalties. In the end, Argentina and Emi Martinez in goal for them, coming out on top. We're almost ready to go in this particular shootout. And it looks as though it is the Netherlands to go first. And stepping up for them, it is Toyn Koopmeiners. Just the 2 goals in 45 appearances for Juve this season. In some appearances in all 3 of the group games, and obviously again tonight. Interestingly, he didn't get any minutes at all in the qualifiers, but he's in the hot seat here, and he's scored! Lovely penalty from Koopmeiners. He roars his satisfaction. It's a brilliant strike into the bottom right-hand corner as he was looking at it. Kept his head down, just drilled it low and hard into that bottom right-hand corner. Bunu went the right way, but no chance at all he was going to save that one. So it's 1-0 to the Netherlands now. Toyn Coat Miners are doing the business for them. Stepping up by way of response for Morocco here, it's going to be Neil El Ainaoui. Caught the eye in the game, for sure, had plenty of the ball, has caught the eye in the tournament as a whole in truth. And it's him against Verbruggen now. Up he steps. Oh, and he's hit the crossbar, and it's gone over. Oh, he just cannot believe what's happened there, Neil El Ainaoui. The Morocco fans can't quite believe it either. He looks to the floor in despair. He sent Verbruggen the wrong way. Verbruggen sprung to his left. El Ainaoui drilled the ball to the left. It was heading towards the top corner, but he got a little bit too much lift on it, and it's clipped the crossbar and gone sailing into the crowd. So, a huge chance here now for Holland to extend their lead. And as I predicted, stepping up here, it's Kluivert. Oh, and he's hit the post! A little stutter in the run-up. Justin Kluivert buries his head inside his shirt. He can't believe it. And it's a big, big lifeline for Morocco, it has to be said. Again, the keeper going the wrong way. Bounou diving away to his left. Kluivert trying to put the ball in the bottom left-hand corner, but it's just struck the base of the post. And so it remains 1-0 to the Netherlands in this shootout. The chance here for Soufiane Rahimi to bring Morocco level in the shootout. Rahimi against Verbruggen. Here he goes now, Rahimi. Oh, and wow, what a let-off there for Morocco. It's incredible. Verbruggen has dived the right way. He's basically saved the penalty. He's dived. He's got the ball. It's under his body. He's dived to his right. It's under his body. It's hit one of his feet. And then it's suddenly come off his right foot back towards the goal and has just crept over the line agonisingly. Oh, that is brutal for Verbruggen. So agonising. But Rahimi, well, he won't mind. He's just about levelled the scores there for Morocco. And now the responsibility falls on Wout Weghorst. The former Burnley and Manchester United striker. Been in such good form so far this season for Ajax. Now he's got a huge job to do for his country. Deep breath taken by Weghorst. Up he steps. Oh, brilliant penalty. Top left. He's absolutely smashed that in, Weghorst. And so the Netherlands just edge ahead again by 2-1. Really, really textbook penalty from Wout Weghorst. No chance at all for Bounou, who actually went the right way, but you would barely notice because it was right in the postage stamp from Weghorst. And so now, a bit of pressure again falling on Morocco. And this time, it's Sunderland's Shemsteen Taubi. Mentioned earlier, he appears to be the man for the big occasion. Already got an assist. What can he do here? Oh, lovely penalty from him as well. A little stutter in the run-up, which I'm not normally a fan of, I have to admit. Then he's just opened his body and he's curled it right into the top right-hand corner. Again, Verbruggen went the right way. Verbruggen is having an absolute blinder in this shootout, actually. He's reading everything that's happening here, but Taubi, the execution on the penalty was just too good. So it's 2-2 now. And stepping up for penalty, number 4 for the Netherlands is Quinten Timber. And as a substitute, takes 2 or 3 steps back, addresses the ball. It's Timber versus Bounou. Up he steps, Timber. Oh, and he's drilled it wide. It's a shocking penalty from Quinten Timber. Really, really poor. He's dragged it wide. And now, all of a sudden, it's Morocco who are firmly in the driving seat here. He can't believe it, Timber. It's not even close. He's put it miles past the left-hand post as he looks at it. Ronald Koeman buries his head in his hands, as does Quinton Timber. And who else would Morocco want stepping up at this point other than Mr. Reliable himself? Achraf Hakimi scored the winning penalty against Spain in the round of 16 4 years ago. Scored against Nigeria. Oh, and he's hit the post! I cannot believe it! Achraf Hakimi, the star man. You would have put the house on him, wouldn't you? But he's hit the post, the same post that Kluivert hit. The base of it as well. It's almost the exact same spot that Kluivert hit there. And my goodness, on we go. It remains 2-2. What an extraordinary evening this is turning into. As I say, Hakimi scored the winning penalty against Spain in the round of 16 4 years ago. He scored against Nigeria in that AFCON semi-final shootout. He also scored, of course, in the Champions League final shootout against Arsenal. But on this occasion, for his country, on the biggest stage of all, he's just for once fallen short of the standards we come to expect from Achraf Hakimi, the Morocco skipper. As now, focus shifts to Crescencio Somerville of West Ham. He's been pretty lively all evening, caused that Morocco backline plenty of problems with his desire to get in behind. Here he comes now from the spot. Oh, and it's been saved. Or did he hit the crossbar? Either way, it's another missed penalty. I cannot believe this shootout. And now Morocco are going to have the chance to secure their place in the last 16. Somerville, little stutter in the run-up. Drills it to his left, and yeah, it was Bunu who saved it. I wasn't sure if it was a save or whether it hit the crossbar because Bunu didn't even really react to the fact that he'd saved it, which was a bit unusual from the goalkeeper. Somerville trying to drill it high into the top left-hand corner. Bunu getting the job done. And speaking of getting the job done, the responsibility now falls to Ismail Saibari. Morocco's top scorer so far in the tournament, scored in all 3 group games, and he's got a chance here to put them through to the last 16. Up he steps, and he scores! It's Morocco's night in Monterrey. The Atlas Lions roar once again, and it's despair for Ronald Koeman and the Netherlands. A breathless evening's football. Goodness me, where do we start? Well, let's start right at the start. It was the Netherlands who took the lead in normal time. Cody Gakpo scoring what was an emotional goal for him. The tragedy of him losing an unborn son prior to the tournament. An amazing moment, an emotional moment as Gakpo prodded home after great work by Somerville to give the Netherlands the lead with 18 minutes remaining. It looked as though they were going to get over the line, Ronald Koeman's men. But then in injury time, a brilliant cross from the substitute Talbi into the box, and there was Issa Diop to force extra time. In truth, there wasn't a huge amount of goal-mouth action in extra time. And in the end, it just meandered its way through to penalties. And it was a shootout that defied all logic, really. It just looked as though neither team wanted to win it. Justin Kluivert missing, Neil El Ainaoui missing, and then Quinton Timber missing, Hakimi missing, and ultimately Crescencio Somerville missing. And that allowed Ismail Saibari, a man who's probably caught the eye as much as anyone for Morocco so far in this tournament. He was the man who could step up and deliver the final blow, which he did, drilling it low and hard to Verbruggen's right. The Brighton goalkeeper diving to his left. So there we go. The Atlas Lions march on into a round of 16 clash with Canada. That will take place this Saturday, 6 p.m. UK time in Houston. For the Netherlands, well, it's heartbreak. It's an orange crush here in Monterrey, delivered by Morocco and Ismail Saibari. They live to fight another day. The Netherlands go home. And that's just about it from me. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I hope you've stayed with us to the end. Thank you if you have. It's been a long evening, of course. But it's finished in Monterrey. The Netherlands won, Morocco won. Morocco advancing 3-2 on penalties. That's all from me. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now.